we're going to give you the top 10 loadouts you can be using right now in Call of Duty Warzone. For our first loadout, this is going to be more of a bonus loadout for you, not necessarily meta and not necessarily a top 10, but just a bonus loadout for you guys to go out and try that I'm going to be going out and trying this week as well. For this first option, we're going to use the WSP swarms, the Akimbo WSP swarms to be exact. These are just kind of, I think right here at about 5 meters or so, kind of feel really, really solid. They're a little slower out there at 10, as you can see with the TTK, but right here at 5 meters, which is kind of where you want to use them, kind of good. Just a lot of fun to run. And then we're of course going to be running the Kar 98, which I think is going to be, it's just so good at about 50 meters. Such a great aggressive sniper, especially for something like Resurgence. And then, you know, those WSP swarms are going to be a lot of fun to run as well. For the swarms, we're going to use the Endless 30 compensator. This will give you a muzzle flash concealment buff, a damage range buff, and a firing aim stability buff. Then we're going to use the WSP Reckless 90 long barrel. This will give you buffs to bullet velocity and range, a buff to aiming idle sway, which doesn't really matter because you're not aiming down your sight, gun kick control buff, and a recoil control buff as well. I'm using the 100 round drums, but you're definitely welcome to use the 50s. We have these akimbo, so this will give you like 200 rounds of SMG ammo, which is crazy. Then we have the Point G3P 04 laser. This is the best laser for hip fire if you're running Modern Warfare 3 weapons. Hip recoil control, hip fire and tac stance spread, sprint to fire speed buff as well. A lot of buffs to this, really, really solid. And then you want the WSP akimbo brace stock. This is still available to unlock. You can go into your barracks, go to challenges, and go to legacy. You should be able to find it in there, and probably have to do like an XP challenge. If you guys check this out and you want to drop the XP challenge down below in the comments, feel free to do that. For that Kar 98, I'm running the range collar 3.4 optic. Also, we're going to be running the sonic suppressor L muzzle. This will obviously make you invisible in your enemies minimap again and give you a huge buff to the bullet velocity and another solid buff to the damage range. Again, you can one shot all the way up to about 67.1 meters. How you can check that is the damage at effective range. That's kind of like your farthest one shot headshot potential with the Kar 98. Then we're using the precision, I don't know how to say this, but it's basically the precision 7.62 long barrel. This gives you another huge bullet velocity buff and damage range buff. Then we're going to rock the SL Razorhawk Laser Light, giving you a buff to aim walking steadiness, a buff to tac stance spread, sprint to fire speed, and another buff to the aimed out sight speed. And then the high grain rounds are essential, giving you another buff to the bullet velocity and another buff to the damage range. For our next loadout, we have the Grau 556 or the SWAT 556 with the Grau conversion kit, and the LC10 is also still incredibly good. But the Grau, I mean, still have 0 recoil on this, man. It's just really easy to use. And the LC10, like I said, still very solid option, easy to use, kind of like the C9, but the C9 is just a tad bit better. But if you like the LC10, it is still usable, absolutely, along with that Grau 556. For this SWAT 556, I'm running the mono suppressor here for sure. No minimap firing ping, buff to the bullet velocity, buff to the damage range. I like the vertical foregrip here, gives you a huge buff to the horizontal recoil control. Full auto extended mag, giving you a magazine ammo capacity buff along with a recoil stabilization buff. I like the heavy stock here just to help with flinch resistance, so like while I'm getting shot at, I'm not flinching as much. But balance stock is a great option here as well for strafing movement speed. The Grau conversion kit, of course, giving you full auto conversion, unlocks full auto extended magazine that we're using, and then a movement speed buff and a vertical and horizontal recoil control buff as well. Next, I have the AMAX. The AMAX feels incredible right now, and the KSV is obviously a very good mid 600 millisecond TTK, very steady option and easy to use. For the AMAX, I'm running the mono suppressor here, giving you another buff to the bullet velocity and a damage range. Reinforced barrel, damage range, and bullet velocity buff here again. No cons here. 69.9 meters is our max damage range here. Very solid option. Vertical foregrip here, giving you a horizontal recoil control buff. Extended mag 2, giving you a 60 round mag. And then I like the recoil springs, which helps the recoil tremendously for sure. Let me show this one too here in the firing range. The recoil on this is a little bit harder to control, but still, if you can control it, man, the AMAX is fantastic for sure. And then the KSV that we're going to give you is so good, man. I love the KSV for sure, but absolutely love the KSV. For this KSV, I'm running compensator muzzle. That'll give you a buff to the vertical recoil control. Long barrel here, buffing the damage range all the way out to 20 meters, which is good. Damage range buff all the way out to 20 meters. Vertical foregrip, giving you a horizontal recoil control buff again. Extended mag 2, and no stock here, giving you a hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed buff, which is really solid, and you feel it. Next, we have the Ames 85 paired with the SOG. The SOG is very underrated right now. I'm not sure why not a lot of people are using it, but I absolutely love the Ames 85. The Ames 85, we're running the monolithic suppressor, gives you a buff to the bullet velocity and another buff to the damage range. We're sitting at about 47 meters right here. This is definitely more resurgence, sniper support option, maybe even two. I like the reinforced barrel here. If you want to buff that damage range a little bit more, you can definitely buff that, but the bullet velocity is going to take a little bit of a hit, so that's up to you. Extended mag 2, giving us a 60 round mag. And then we're rocking the vertical foregrip for even more horizontal recoil control. And then I like the recoil springs for even, I'm trying to make this thing as zero recoil as possible, and it does work. The recoil springs really help this, of course, a lot, but you can definitely put on the overpressured rounds instead of the recoil springs if you want. But this thing does not have hardly any movement, man. It is so much fun to run. Absolutely insane. And then we're running the SOG with this, right? So SOG feels incredible. Feels almost exactly like the Mac 10 used to back in the day, with a little bit more damage to me. Absolutely love the Mac 10 or the SOG. For that SOG, we're rocking the long barrel here. This will push this damage at effective range out to 16.5 meters with a damage range buff. Ranger foregrip helps out with movement and horizontal recoil control for sure. Then we have the extended mag 2 here, giving this a 55 round mag. I like the commando grip here for sure. The light stock will help a ton with hip fire movement speed and movement speed, along with strafing movement speed as well. Absolutely love the SOG right now. Very solid option. Next, we have the Cypher 91. Cypher 91 still feels absolutely incredible. If you can control the recoil on this thing, man, it's so good, dude. Like it's the base damage for me that is so good. And then of course we still have the C9, which is still insanely good. I don't know what it is about the ground loot C9s. For some reason, those seem to feel a little better, but the C9 is great as well. I've got it built for a little bit more movement than I do for damage, but yeah, man, these two options are great. For the Cypher, I'm running the monolithic suppressor. You definitely want to run this if you want more bullet velocity and damage range. We're looking at about 60 meters, which is good. You can even sacrifice some of that damage range in bullet velo. Bullet velo is tough because it's only at 1,000, but you can run something like the ported compensator, and then instead of the recoil springs that we're going to run, which does give it a horizontal and vertical recoil control buff, you can run something like the overpressured rounds or something like that, which is solid. Then we're rocking the long barrel, giving this another damage range buff. The vertical foregrip here, giving it a buff to the horizontal recoil control. The extended mag 2, giving it a 60 round mag, and like I said, we are running those that recoil springs. Again, run the overpressured and run the ported compensator instead. Completely up to you if you have trouble with the recoil. For that C9, I'm rocking the long barrel here. This will buff the damage range out to about 18 meters, which is good. The extended mag 1, just for movements purposes, 40 round mag. Extended mag 2 has a 50, completely fine if you go that route. Commando grip here, giving it a aim down sight speed buff, jumping sprint to fire speed buff, jumping aim down sight speed buff, and a sprint to fire speed buff. No stock here because it does not affect your recoil, running it for the hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed. And then I like the recoil springs here. It just helps keep that recoil controllable and it's just really, really nice. I like the recoil springs here. Next, we have an 8 attachment kilo build for you. I got this from Booyah. Booyah is a Xen member like me, part of the Xen team. And then he also is a part of, he played World Series of Warzone this weekend and all this. And he sent me this in order to run. This is what he ran during World Series of Warzone. So pretty cool kilo build here, 8 attachment kilo. And so we're running the Gunfighter wild card, which will not be in Black Ops 7 Warzone, by the way. They're taking away wild cards and they're just adding back overkill as a base perk, which is nice. But then we have the Grekova kind of that you can run with this. For the kilo, he's rocking the RNK multi-zoom, the monolithic suppressor here, giving it a bullet velocity and damage range buff. You got the gain twist barrel buffing that bullet velo, which this is at a 1629 bullet velo right now. Damage at effective range is only 49 meters though, so if you want to kind of buff both at the same time, rock the reinforced barrel, you'll be just fine. Vertical foregrip here for sure. Extended mag 2, giving it a 60 round mag. The quick draw grip, giving it a huge aim down sight speed buff. The combat stock, giving it flinch resistance and aim walking movement speed buff. And then he's rocking the recoil springs to buff the recoil control even more. Let's take a look at this in the firing range. I don't love the optic here. This particular iron sight, or this particular sight on this, I like the optic, excuse me. I just don't like the reticle. The reticle is rough. The one I recommend is in multiplayer, and you go get it by, it's called a clean reticle for obvious reasons. And it's like the T-pose reticle if you played Modern Warfare 19 back in the day. The T-pose reticle is just great. I don't see another one that I recommend. Maybe this one at range. Let me go check that out real quick live here for you. Yeah, that's probably a better, I like that one a little bit better. That helps me center up things a little bit more. So yeah, that's kind of nice for sure. But yeah, man, I absolutely love this build. And then of course that Grakova, using it as an SMG, absolutely solid choice as a secondary option for yeah, it's great, man. It's absolutely insanely good. Paired up with this Kilo, man, feels great. For that Grakova, I'm rocking the Kepler Microflex. I like the compensator muzzle here, the reinforced barrel for sure, the extended mag 3, and the recoil springs again. Then the GPR91 and the Jackal PDW are fantastic options. Usually I would run the Kilo without an optic or something like ranked or something like that as a primary, and then run the Jackal secondary, but the GPR91 is fantastic too. Let me show that to you here in the firing range real quick. But again, guys, if you guys enjoyed this style of video, man, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button, hit that noti bell if you've made it this far. And that usually means that you probably like the stuff that I'm cooking up, man. And we're got Black Ops 7 coming out. We've got the new build codes, Black Ops 7 Warzone coming out. Rebirth Island staying around. New Resurgence map's going to be dope. We'll see how it is. I'm not going to say it's dope yet because I haven't played it again, but you know, let's just have some fun, man. If you guys enjoy these style of videos, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, man. I really appreciate it. For this GPR, I'm rocking the Volsky Reflex Optic. I like the monolithic suppressor here for obvious reasons. Reinforced barrel for sure. I like the extended mag 2 for a 60 round mag, and the recoil springs to really help that recoil control. Then we got the Jackal long barrel here for sure, buffing this about 17 meters, which is good. Ranger foregrip for a little bit more movement. Extended mag 2, giving it a 50 round mag. No stock for sure for way more movement speed. And then the recoil springs for sure. I love the recoil springs for this one. Thank you guys again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that noti bell. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.